This is once again Mr. None Defense, host of this YouTube channel and leader of the team, Grublet. Fucking Grublet. Hell yeah. Thank you guys for checking back in my third video since the return, since I have come out of voluntary exile. Today we're just gonna, continue to do just what we do, and we're gonna kind of show off what we've been pulling off with just the excuse me, just the accounts and just the attacks that we have available. I'd like to welcome back, Nick. Thank you so much for rejoining us and for catching the memo. You said you saw a post on Facebook that I put about it. Thank you for coming back to the game. He says that hasn't played in a while. I asked him what brought him back. He said us, and I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. So thank you so much, Nick, for coming back again. I had to take a self-imposed exile. It was necessary for whatever, but I'm glad you're back, and I'm glad more and more of us. Bone has arrived again. Thank you so much, Bone. Bone was fucking awesome. Bone was like one of the definitions of the type of people you want on the team, because he's going to run the right attack, and you never have to tell him shit. You don't have to note anything. You don't have to do nothing. He's just going to show up, do his thing, and get the fuck out of here. Not going to chat. He doesn't have to. I love him. Thank you so much, Bone, for coming back when you saw that we were back. Raul, he came back. That's awesome. It's like I remember Raul's attacks that they were back then. Like, he was getting good. He was still having some problems, but a lot of time has passed. A lot of updates have come out, so we'll see where he is once we get our next stop. So far, that's everybody, and I am working on, for anyone who's curious, I keep saying I want to have 8 spots on this team. I'll go ahead and show you the spots. Obviously, Angie. We want to keep Angie. Boom, beach Angie. We are going to, of course, we're going to keep Grublet for a while, but once I'm down to my 8 attacks, if it's time to bring in another offensively strong player, I'll either sub them in Grublet's spot, or I'll kick off something or do something. Who knows there? But right now, I'm still just trying to get down to the 8, so I don't have to think about it. Willow is awesome. That's me. None defense, obviously. I'm on none. You'll notice Grublet has more force points than none defense at the moment, which is kind of funny. No, Blueberry. Blueberry is me. That's me, and that's one I want to stick with. Bartholomew, I want to stick with Bartholomew. I want to stick with Mishu, and I want to stick with Buddy. All these other names, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 names. 4 to 5 if you count Grublet, that I intend to boot out for somebody else. We currently are missing 2. We have 2 empty spots, and I'm going to continue to maintain 2 empty spots until I'm down to my 8. And then whoever's on the squad, that's our roster, and it's going to be all based on you're either a good enough op attacker. What doesn't matter if you get force points. Doesn't matter if you get if you get intel. It doesn't matter. I mean, we want you to get intel, of course, and all that, but it's all going to be, this is going to be, do the right attack. Does it have to be perfect? Trust me, everybody knows my patience level is like way high, but we all know what we're talking about when I say don't be shitty. Don't send a tank to a shield generator. Don't send warriors after a whole bunch of machine guns when you ain't got no shock. Don't do the obviously silly things that we shouldn't do. Anyway, so there we go. So I talked about that. As you can see, yesterday, or in the last stop, we beat Foxtrot in 17 attacks. To keep the video short, I'm just going to give who got some super highlights. Alright, so Timbo, he got a solo. Let's watch that. This was a tactical solo because, we knew he was strong enough to get back there. Yes, it's a small base. We certainly could have used him elsewhere. But, again, if I'm in charge of calling plays, then I'm going to choose tactical plays. And then this was the guarantee. Going with the guarantee is a very tactical decision. and it's hard to beat it. It's hard to beat a guarantee. It just really is. So great job, Timbo. Thank you so much for doing that. Well done. Well executed. Who else? So, and then I did some clearing attacks on Centaur. Instead of going through all them individually, here's what we'll do. We'll just look at it. Pause. What did I do? Oh yeah, it was my job to get rid of all 4 of these rockets. Okay, I had to do that. And kind of start clearing the side off a little bit. And the plan is we're going to sneak a guy from way back here around these flamethrowers, shock the flamethrowers, and then that's how we win. So that was my mission. Let's fast forward to a couple of attacks. That's Centaur, 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 Centaur. Anything else on Centaur from me? Okay, so this would have been my last attack on Centaur. So let's go ahead and play this one out. What we got there. And you'll see there's 1, 2, 3 rockets have gone. Now, if memory serves correctly, I hacked 3 of the rockets and then chose Keeters to bomb it. But there you go. That's how I got those rockets. I did some hacking and snacking and bombing and jamming or something. I don't know. And you'll notice those shield generators. I'll show you. Let me go back to that. You'll notice, just in case you're watching this and learning or wondering, like, well, why is it that none does a certain thing but not this other thing? Is because on the big hit, there's no reason in the world I can't leave these shield generators and let my guy who's going to take the big hit, you know, eat those up, chew those up for some GBE. So again, if I have the option, I'm going to do my best to leave things like that undefended, things like that. I'm going to leave them for the next guy, for whoever's going to take the big hit, because they may need that when they're going for their big rush. If it doesn't benefit me this attack, I'm not going to attack it. You know, like, it doesn't benefit me this attack to destroy those shield generators. You know, and because I know, again, my guy can do it. Whoever's going to go back there, who was it? Looks like it was Bronze Emmett, which is our man Bron. So alrighty. Wait, somebody else went over there. Who went over there? Did I miss one? How did I miss one? It was Keeters. And then Centaur. Ah, here we go. That's right. Timbo went over there. Timbo went over on his second account, Ghost Warrior. Timbo pointed out in a chat today that right now we have a bit of an intel problem. That'll smooth out as people join. You know, we need people. We need bodies, but good bodies. Trust me. I know it was like, well, we want intel, but we don't need intel so bad that we should be willing to sacrifice good quality attacks. And then that was weird. Just the ladies that got roasted, man. I think that's an update thing. It seems like that's happening more. I mean, it started happening more after the last update, but it's really been happening. But either way, I mean, he got that back there. He beat the fuck out of it. Just didn't pop it. And then our man Braun, he was able to get back there and do it. So let's go ahead. Wait, that was duality. Well, fuck it. Let's appreciate Braun soloing duality. Here you go, Braun. Show your stuff. Watch this. Man, he's like a madman. Should we speed it up? Let's go to 2. Okay. Alright, I'm going to need some Aboriginal, like Australian victory music. Does Australia have an army? And if so, do they have like a theme song that I should be like singing here? Like, I don't know. I can't even think of a parody of an Australia theme song because I don't know enough Australia theme songs to make a parody. So, I mean, obviously, I'll tell you what immediately came into my mind. I was like, well, I could go with kangaroos. Like, I've done all the kangaroo jokes, I think. It's like we talk about beer. I can't even say it. But, you know, really, let's be honest, I have no room to talk when it comes to, you know, judging anybody for talking funny. So anyway, so there you go. So that was fun. We're 10 minutes and 7 seconds into this video. Everybody see the little timer down here? See this? I'm just kind of sliding around. I like this mobile, well, whatever it's called. It's a good little app. It shows you down here. I just always forget it. It shows you in the bottom right. Anyway, so good job. And then Braun did that on that. And I think that was unboosted. No, 144. He must have been boosted. It was boosted. Good old Braun. Braun, you didn't have to boost. Well, we could have figured out a way, but, you know, whatever. Because we still had the attacks. But he didn't know that. He's Braun. Maybe he was boosting because he was doing some other stuff, right? And then he was like, well, since I still got the boost, I might as well solo duality for my boys. You know, maybe he was like that. And if that's the case, cool. Thank you, Braun. Let's see. A lot of this was just me. Don had a good one. Oh, yeah, Don ran after me. Bort on Paradox. Did Bort get any help? He helped himself. Bort helped himself. All right, Bort, show us what you got. So this is Silence. One of Bort's second accounts. Awesome account. Very strong. Bort, next time I see you, if you think about it, how many maxed accounts are you up to? And then how many in general? I'm curious about that. You know, between Angie and Nunn, I have 2 maxed accounts. And then obviously, like, you know, 800 other accounts. But, you know, I'm just wondering how many you have. And I assume you travel with them. I mean, you never know. Bort's a funny guy. I like Bort. All right, we got speed Azukas up, though, because they are slow. What are we doing? Oh, yeah, I remember this attack. Nice. Nice. Nice timing. Nice shocking. It was just nice. Nice smoking. Speaking of nice smoking, let me hit this joint. So that was good. And then I'm not going to make you watch all of Complex, but I was working on Complex. So basically everybody else did their attacks. I did some of my attacks, and it was bedtime for me. And I was like, all right, I'm going to be working on Complex in the morning. I'll just start, picking things off. And I woke up, and there was a note on there from Don, and it said, you know, Nunn, do what you do. And I'm like, yeah, man. So we're just going to show you what it looked like at the beginning. Pause. Does everybody see it? Things of note, there were no rockets in these machine gun spots. That's unusual. So, you know, I was like, well, that's going to be easy. Thank you for that. There were no shock launchers in this area. And I'm like, okay, that's good. That's good. And I'll tell you what I was working up to. And I was like, well, you know, the beach needs some attention. Remember the steps. Open the beach. Clear the wall. Bomb the targets behind the core. You know, the critical targets behind the core, and you're good. You're good. And when it comes to behind me, whichever side you intend to stand on, it's the other side. That's behind. In this case, if you're standing where this troop statue is, everybody see that? Or that blue statue is? If everybody sees that, if you're standing there, well, then technically this is behind the core, this is behind the core, this is behind the core, everything. Does everyone understand? Behind the core means you have to imagine where you're standing at the victory, and then what's on the other side. That's what behind the core means. You'd be amazed how many confusing conversations you can have with different random teammates of different random teams in Exile on the subject of what behind the core means. Like, oh my fucking God. You're on one side, which means you're in front of it. You're on the other, and things on the other side is behind it. Jesus. Okay. Anyway. So, whatever. It doesn't matter. But, so we've looked at it. Lots of rockets. Now we're just going to, just show what it looked like before Don jumped in. So what did I do? I did 1, 2. I know this says Bronze Jones, but that is me. There was a time Bron had several accounts, and life, as his daughter got older and life got more complicated, he had to give up several of them. And many of his lower accounts I had given them originally. I gave them to him. He named them Bronze, but then he couldn't handle them anymore, and they were already stored in my phone, so it wasn't that he gave them back. He just stopped using them and let me know that he wasn't really using them. And I said, okay, well, in that case, they'll be mine, and they've got Bron's name on them, which means anytime Bron says, hey, I'd really like to take over Jones and Troy again, I'll be like, dude, they're fucking yours, man, of course. Right now, I'm just driving them. Anyway. So that's the story there if you ever wonder. So that's what it looked like before. Now let's get to the end, see what it looked like when Irving attacked. Irving is another account that I had given away at one point, and it found its way back to me. So does everyone see what I did? There were rockets and shit over here. I got rid of those. There were rockets and shit over here. Got rid of those. And we'll just watch this attack. So my goal, again, let's say it with me. Step 1, open the beach. Step 2, clear the wall. Step 3, bomb things behind the core. Right? Right. Critical targets. Here we go. Let's just watch it, and let's watch it in real time. Little triangle action there. Not my best work. And boom, boom, boom. There you go. All I was doing there is just working on clearing this stuff. Wasn't perfect. Was not great. Was not the most beautiful thing I have ever seen or done. But you know what it was? It was a successful mission, because the mission was to finish opening the beach and then bomb a critical target. And look at this. I'm kind of working on clearing the wall as well. Dun, dun, dun. The steps do work. Nice. Okay, so I did that. Now let's pause. Let me go ahead and tell y'all in real life what I was thinking, because in real life I still had like several attacks left. I don't even remember, but several attacks. So we were way ahead of the curve on this one. And I'm like, well, at that point, just to be funny, and because I knew that it would work, and we were talking the other night about saying no tanks in ops. Well, that's true. No tanks in ops, but I'd be lying if I told you that tanks didn't have their usefulness in certain situations. And this would have been a great one, that I was going to load all tanks on Angie. Again, just to do it, not to, obviously if the championship was on the line, I'm doing something different, but we have all those attacks. So I'm just fucking around. But I was going to put tanks. Right, see this mine right there? I was going to put tanks right on top of that mine. I was going to, shock out of here and just fucking let them go and just kind of have fun with it that way. Just to show that, there are useful, you can do things with tanks, but it's also true that you don't, you can often do the same thing with the other troops as well without having to go with the tanks. And it's also true that tanks suck in 90% of op situations. But in terms of proving that there are occasional times where you would want a good tank, this was an okay time to have run tanks. If somebody stealthily and successfully got some tanks back here and just cleared all that out, I would say that that was a good attack. I would say, good job, guy. You did a good attack. Thank you for that. But I was going to do that, but then Don just jumped in and took it from me. But then that's fine, because that meant that was one less attack I had to do. But that's what I was planning on, just because I could. Just because I could. So let's watch Don's brilliant assault. Looking good so far. Looking good. Looking good. Got the little double smoke action happening, and boom, 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 clear it off. And now that was an excellent thing, and that's the part that I couldn't have done with Zukas, or with tanks. I mean, there wouldn't have been enough GB. But again, if I ran tanks back there with Angie, my goal wasn't to beat it. My goal was to keep opening things up. Just keep opening it up. Keep working on it. Because that's fun. So there you go. That's the op. We did it. The video is 20 minutes long, and I just showed you how we beat Foxtrot. Again, we're working on getting some intel. If you feel like joining, I mean, you see the hashtag, you see the number requirement, the victory point requirement. I'm not saying we can't, find, like, I don't know, if you're watching this video and you don't have 500, but you're really good at Zookas, let me know. We can talk. Message me in the comments. We can chat about it. That's easy, okay? We're currently at 1484 victory points, or excuse me, force points. It is what it is. I could give a shit about the force points, I'll be honest with you. I want to beat the hardest ops that we could possibly can using good, just quality attacks without being a douchebag in the chat, without having to beg people to do right. Just do it. Just do right. We know what to do. Everybody on this team should already know what to do. So that's what I'm going to keep leaning on. So we shouldn't have to say what to do. Like, we're all good at this. We are all, like, look at these people. I know in the still unboomable days, God bless them, I'm saying, like, oh, everybody's awesome. Well, the truth was there wasn't awesome people. There were great people, but they were shitty attackers, and it was kind of breaking my heart. And I'm not saying any names, but I will say this honestly, that of all the names that have come back, everybody is like fucking beast. I can't remember Raul. I remember he had good ones. I remember he was Tech Crunch. He loved Tech Crunch. Now it comes back to me. Good job, Raul. Yeah, he was good. He was good at Tech Crunch. That was where he practiced on getting good at Zookas, and that was months ago. So I can imagine that Raul has probably had an opportunity to work Zookas on a wide variety of bases since then. So great job. I'm very excited. So again, the point is, we know what the fuck we're doing. Let's just get out there and do it and have fun and not be, I know it sounds like I'm a mean guy when I talk about this, but it's just when you're trying to, I don't know, whatever. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I am posting it. Please remember that my name is None Defense, and please be safe. Thank you.